Hey, guess who's not gonna have to run back to the studio between the soup and the salad at dinner tonight?
No kidding. How'd you manage that?
Well, just happened to mention to Margo that we're expecting a dinner guest, and she didn't have any late plans. So she graciously offered to do the 11 o'clock news for me.
Wow. Lucky you. Lucky me.
Now that I don't have any plans for the evening, I mean that I'm free. Don't tell me you plan to spend the entire evening behind this desk.
No. I'll be with you as soon as I just add these test results to Mrs. Hennessy's file. By the way, why'd you decide to come pick me up this evening?
Just like your company. Besides, I thought I was going to have to light a fire under you to get you out of here tonight.
When's Logan due over?
Mr. Swift called me this afternoon. He's still got a touch of that flu bug. Had to cancel.
Well, then what's the big rush to go home?
Well, I thought that we could change this dinner for three into a romantic dinner for two.
Well, listen, you went to such trouble to cook that meal. Seems a shame to make it go to waste.
Oh, we won't. We'll eat double portions, and we'll put the rest in the freezer.
Well, it's not that late. Maybe we can find another dinner guest.
Why?
Well, it's just a shame that we can't provide some other poor, lonely bachelor with a good home-cooked meal.
You have someone in mind?
Yeah. I thought maybe Derek Mallory would like to join us.
I don't think that's a very good idea, Miles.
Why not? I thought Derek was a friend of ours.
Well, for one thing, I would find it very awkward to invite anybody over at the last minute.
Oh, I'll make the call. How's that?
Honey. Listen, when Logan called me this afternoon, I thought it would be a very good opportunity for the two of us to spend a quiet evening alone at home together. We haven't had very many of those lately.
Well, tomorrow night, be just you and me.
Don't you want to be alone with your wife?
Yes, of course I do. All right, I'll tell you, I do have an ulterior motive. Truth is, I'm feeling a little bit rotten about the way I behaved toward Derek the other evening. I'm feeling a little guilty about it, you know?
Well, you did let him down. If you didn't want to do the autopsy, you shouldn't have made that commitment.
Well, after I agreed, I realized how much I wanted to spend that evening with you, not in some depressing police morgue.
You know, I wouldn't mind if you gave up forensic work entirely. You put in too many hours as it is.
Look, the point is that Derek was a little miffed about the whole, and rightfully so. So I thought, what better way to apologize than just invite him to dinner at our own home?
I suppose that is one way.
Then why do you have so many objections to it? You don't dislike the man, do you?
No, of course not. I like him very much.
Suppose I just make that call.
Derek Mallory.
Derek, it's Miles Cavanaugh. How are you?
Well, what can I do for you, Doctor?
Well, I was wondering if you might be free this evening. Oh, Nicole is preparing one of her super dinners, and we were hoping you might be able to join us.
It's nice of you to think of me, but maybe some other time.
Oh, look, it would be well worth changing any plans you might have.
Please, let me have a rain
Not
check.
only is my wife a beautiful woman, Derek, but she is a whiz in the kitchen, and you don't know what good is until you've sampled her cooking.
I'm sure you're not exaggerating.
Schedule, these invitations are few and far between, you know.
I'd be in a position, I'm sure.
No. We'd both be so disappointed if you couldn't make it.
Well, I've got one more report in front of me I've got to finish. I wouldn't be free until after that.
But you would be free then. Good. You don't have any excuse.
All right, you talked me into it.
Terrific. We'll see you at our house around 8 o'clock. The three of us are going to spend a nice, cozy evening. Goodbye. done.
So when Calvin and Star are out there sunning themselves in the Caribbean, Steve and I are going to be out in the snow in the North Woods.
Well, I've never been up to the Spring Lake region, but I hear it's quite lovely this time of year.
It is, it is. The place where we're going to be staying belongs to a friend of Steve's. It's a rustic little cabin set way back in the woods.
You're really looking forward to this, aren't you? Ah, Nancy, we've got company.
Deborah, hello.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I had a last-minute rewrite to do on a story. Hi. How are you feeling?
Fine.
Oh,
Absolutely fine.
Good. You look well. Listen, would you like to have dinner with us?
Well, I'd like to, but I've got to get back to headquarters.
Oh, you're on duty.
Yeah, I came over to talk to you about Benny Hayes.
I see. What gave you the idea that there was any connection between him and me?
Nancy, when Deborah first arrived, she told me she wanted to discuss something with you, but I had no idea what the topic was. Whatever information she has, it did not come from me.
Who was your source?
Well, Chief Mallory told me that Benny's been giving you a hard time.
Please.
Thank you.
Where did he get this information?
Well, I imagine it was a roundabout source. He didn't tell me. I was brought in on this case because Benny's been my headache for some time now. I'm the arresting officer in the marijuana possession charge against him.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm not involved in that case.
No. Look, if he's extorting money from the Monticello News, I want to do something about that.
One of the stipulations had been that he would have immunity. I had promised to protect his identity.
He promised to give you a story, and he turned around on that one.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Look, I appreciate your ethical involvement with this, but do you really think that with everything that Benny has done, you owe him anything?
As far as I'm concerned, the matter is closed. It's over and done with.
Benny Hayes committed a crime, Nancy. You can't let him get away with it.
I've already had a long talk with my father about what happened.
I take it that Joe agrees with you.
Well, we agreed that it would be best to let the matter drop. After all, we did realize we were taking a calculated risk, and it just didn't work.
All you've got to do is sign a statement, and we can make sure that Benny doesn't con anybody else.
Look, if I go back on my word, I would be abusing the very privileges I get from the First Amendment.
Look, you have got to take into consideration the circumstances.
If I press charges against Benny, the Monticello News stands to lose more than $500. There would be no more information from anywhere. They'd be afraid of being exposed.
Look, if you make a stand against these punks, they'll realize you're not an easy mark.
Believe me, I'd like nothing better than to see Benny Hayes punished for what he did, but my hands are tied.
Well, knowing Benny, until somebody comes forward, he's just going to keep ripping people off. You can stop him. You know that, Nancy.
Sorry, no.
Well, you can't twist your arm. I'm going back to headquarters.
I'll get your coat.
I want you to think about what I've just said, Nancy. And if you change your mind, you can call me.
Deborah, don't expect to hear from me.
Speaking to you as a cop and a friend, I want to give you a word of warning.
Yes.
Just because you think this incident is over with, don't think Benny feels the same way.
Why do you say that?
He was picked up by the police, and he may very well think that you went back on your word to him.
Meaning that Nancy might be in danger.
Yeah, well, I don't know how he's going to react, Nancy.
Deborah, do you think you could arrange protection for Nancy?
Mike,
There's no way that we can arrange protection when the threat doesn't actually exist.
I am sure that Benny has had his fill of me, just as I have had my fill of him.
I want you to be aware of this situation.
Thank you, Deborah.
I'll talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice weekend. So your involvement with Mr. Hayes isn't over at all.
Oh, of course it is, Mike.
Right.
He knows it's over. He has no more interest in me, I'm sure.
Nancy, I'm not sure your decision to protect this hoodlum was the right one.
It was the only decision possible.
He doesn't deserve immunity.
Darling, that's not the point.
Well, I'll feel a lot better knowing that he was off the streets.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy.
Who is that?
It's your secret admirer. Only I'm not so secret anymore.
What do you want?
That wasn't very nice of you after all your promises to spill the beans like that.
I told no one.
Yeah, then, how come Big Chief Mallory knows all about our little business deal?
I haven't the slightest idea how he found out.
Yeah. I sort of figured you got angry because you didn't like the story I gave you.
Benny, you acted in bad faith, but I still didn't tell anybody.
Well, then who told? It wasn't me.
Well, now, maybe you, told one of your friends and they let the word out, hmm?
No way. I don't tell nobody my business.
Benny, forget it. I'm not interested in your story anymore.
Yeah, well, there's one story you might be interested in. That I happen to know that a certain red-headed lady detective cop just left your house. You ratted on me, Mrs. Carr, and I ain't happy about it.
Apparently, Mr. Hayes hasn't forgotten about you.
No. But he knows that Deborah was just here.
What? Then he must have been calling from very near the house.
Hey, this is supposed to be a relaxing evening. You're acting nervous as a cat.
Oh, fine. How's dinner coming?
It's just fine.
Ah, there it is. Right on time. Derek, good to see you. Come on in.
Derek,
Hello,
hi.
Nicole. I brought you a bottle of wine.
Oh, isn't that thoughtful? Thank you very much. Very, very thoughtful. Here, take your coat.
I'm really glad you could come on such short notice, Derek.
Well, after the way Miles described the meal I'd be missing, I couldn't very well refuse.
Well, that meal was made with the help of Mrs. Goodman, who's our housekeeper. She's in the kitchen. I have to warn you. She thinks you are really cute. She's seen you in the newspaper photos.
Well, if Mrs. Goodman has any thoughts about running off with our chief of police, she's going to have to get in line because there are some other beautiful women in Monticello, I'm sure, have got their eyes on you.
I doubt that.
Oh, too modest, too modest. Here, sit down, sit down. Make yourself at home.
Well, I've got to get back to the kitchen, Derek. I sure hope you're hungry.
Oh, I'm starved.
What are you drinking?
Scotch on the rocks?
You know, one of the reasons that we invited you over here tonight was so I could apologize for the way I behaved the other night.
It's all right. Forget about it. We all have our bad
I
days.
tell you, I was really out of line, you know, refusing to do that autopsy once I had accepted the job.
Dr. Fisher did it.
Tell you the truth, by the end of that day, I was really dog-tired. I didn't think I had the strength to lift a scalpel.
Nicole's told me how hard you've been working lately.
Yes, well, fact is that patients don't stop getting sick, even if I take my phone off the hook at 5 o'clock at night.
You know, you should really start taking care of your own health. When I saw you the other night, you looked like you'd been under a great deal of stress.
Well, as you said before, all of us have our bad days.
She's also told me it's been quite a while since you've taken off any time. I hate to say this, but frankly, it shows.
Really?
It's not the chief of police's place to prescribe to the doctor, but Miles, you ought to take a vacation.
Maybe I should get a second opinion.
Oh, Nicole feels the same way.
You think I should go away?
Do you a world of good.
Where should I go, do you think?
Oh, that doesn't matter. Just get out of Monticello. Get away from everything.
Everything. Perhaps I should go by myself then.
What?
Oh, now, there's a thought, Chief. There's an interesting thought.
My dear
Mrs. Saxon. I hope you understand about last night.
There's no need for apology.
Good. Then maybe this evening we can discuss details of our future association.
I don't know what details we can discuss. I'm sure I don't know how I can be of any help to you.
Oh, come on now. You are the most politically aware person in Monticello. And you have an instinct for this field. One that I'm sure my viewers would find fascinating.
I must say, the idea is intriguing.
The way I thought about it, you would start at the convention, go all the way through the primaries, right up until the election itself. And you could also give additional commentaries on the weekly news.
But I have no broadcast experience. I wouldn't do the job justice.
Something tells me you're going to be a very fast learner, Mrs. Saxon. And besides, it would be quite a feather in WMON's cap to have your name associated with our political analysis.
You mean I might provide a certain credibility?
Quite frankly, yes.
I must say, I appreciate your candor. It certainly is a challenging idea. All right, count me in.
Good. Then may I propose a toast to the broadcast career of Geraldine Saxon. May it be long and successful. Oh, pardon me, let me get that. Yes, Oscar? Oh, what does he want? Well, he always does. All right, let him come up. My. History's repeating itself. Another perfectly lovely evening spoiled by Mr. Elliott Dorn, my so-called husband, is on his way up.
Well, I'm afraid that's my cue to leave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me apologize again. But I will be in touch with you and give you the particulars of your first appearance.
I'll look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you again.
Hello, Margo. Mr. Saxon.
Mr. Dorn, if you'll excuse me, I was just leaving. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Saxon.
Mind if I take off my coat?
I really wouldn't go to that trouble if I were you. You won't be staying that long.
Oh, you look lovely tonight, Margo. But then, you always do.
Oh, my, aren't we gallant?
Even though our personal relationship has cooled somewhat, I still am your foremost admirer.
What are you doing, Elliott? Are you practicing your compliments for future use on Miss Nola Madison?
What do you mean?
What I mean is I saw you at the coach house last night, fawning all over her, and I must say, your public display of affection was nauseating.
Well, I think it's healthy to express one's emotions.
I must say you didn't waste much time finding yourself a new lady friend.
Yes, well, that is what I came to talk to you about, Margo.
What?
You see, Nola has become more than a friend. Nola is my fiancée.
You're honestly telling me you're planning to marry that woman?
I'm a very lucky man, don't you think so?
That's incredible. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
You know, so very few people in life find that special someone. I think I've been fortunate enough in finding two of the loveliest and most accomplished women in Monticello to accept my proposal.
Oh, my, you didn't waste much time falling in love again.
Love has no timetable, Margo.
No, and you love Nola Madison, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, come off it, Elliott. You don't care for her any more than you cared for me.
You can't know what I'm feeling, Margo.
I know exactly what you're feeling, Elliott. You are feeling avarice. The only thing that makes your heart go pity-pat is when you look into Nola Madison's eyes and see all those dollar signs.
Oh, darling, you really know how to hurt me.
Well, what do you expect to do? Travel on her coattails out to Hollywood and have her launch you on some big Hollywood career?
Our breakup has turned you into a bitter, bitter woman.
Is that what you think? Well, you know what I think? I think I should try and warn that poor deluded woman. Just such, what a conniving, money-gouging opportunist you are.
She'd never believe you.
You're right, she probably wouldn't. They say love is blind, love is deaf, dumb, and blind. You probably have her so mesmerized that she would believe that I'm just being spiteful.
Ah, Margo. Why not be gracious about this, Margo? Why can't you be glad to see that I have found some form of happiness?
Well, I am thrilled, can't you tell?
Well, once our divorce becomes final and you start socializing again, I'm sure you'll find someone else very soon.
What? A divorce?
Yes. I haven't heard anything from your attorneys yet. That's why I was wondering whether you knew anything about the formalities, if they're being taken care of.
Oh, you mean so you would be free to marry Nola Mattis?
There are laws against bigamy, you know.
Did I say anything at all about giving you a divorce?
Margo, you want this separation as much as I do. It's best for both of us.
Oh, my darling boy. Do you really think that I'm going to pave the way to your happiness by giving you a divorce?
Margo, that would be a reason.
I will tell you exactly when you will get your divorce, Mr. Dorn. You will get your precious divorce the day after hell freezes over.